Welcome to the Miami Heat Beat Postgame Show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and with me today, a full house of panelists today, my beautiful colleagues, friends. We'll start with the reality check master, Tiffany Meeks. This is a hand wave.
Oh, man.
We have the great Siobhan.
Hello, people. This feels real somber. I'm gonna need you guys to pick it up a little bit with me.
I'm
Like,
really not.
I understand. I get it, and
I'm gonna have
like,
some jokes. Oh, it's gonna be jokes.
oh, it's space for jokes. Hey, y'all.
We have our producer and co-founder, Brian Goins.
Hi.
Remember, guys, we're a podcast. We're a podcast first, guys. The silence really killing the audio listeners.
Restart the show. I hate
that was not
we're restarting the show. Yeah, Bond's right. Hold on. We're restarting the show.
I gotta wait a whole fucking minute.
We gotta do the whole thing.
The whole thing. I want smiles at the end of this.
Okay. 44. I'll be back.
That's how much time I wish we had on the clock still at the end of the game.
Oh my God, gee.
There's no way.
Take him out.
Hello.
Welcome to the Miami Heat Beat Postgame Show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and with me today, we have the reality check master, Tiffany Meeks. What's up,
What's
Tiff?
up? G say I'm about to get y'all to count down to the end of the season.
It's the final countdown. We got Siobhan, we got Brian, we got Light the Beam. Coach Lu, don't light
it.
Again, pod listeners,
It's been lit for the last time.
Come on.
Pack it up, Lou.
I need sound. I need audio cue.
Pack it up.
And he still hasn't said a word.
Man, that sign will not get lit up, even if they win the next fucking game.
Let's go.
Fuck that goddamn sign. I like it. I love it. I'm sorry.
3B co-founder, 2K coach, Franky G.
Jaime said, "It ain't no big three. It's just big me tonight."
I'm gonna tell you something, man.
Listen.
Jaime can go home and be happy, and I think that's about it.
He had like two of the worst turnovers at the end of the game, though.
It's okay. He's
Brian, please.
15 years. He's 15 years old.
What happened on that one possession where he was like bringing the ball up court and just like flew 20 feet in front of him?
Kyle ripped it behind them. He did that like
it was a bad.
Oh, I didn't even see Kyle.
Yeah.
Listen, the fact that we were dependent on him to do something
blur.
is a problem in itself.
God damn, I missed
Welcome.
That was the best game Jaime's played in God knows how long, and we had been saying it on our pods leading up to this. We're like, Jaime's figuring it out, and
Did he?
Unfortunately, nobody else did for Miami. So Miami loses to Philadelphia.
I don't know about nobody else.
Yeah,
We can name
nobody.
names.
We'll get
We
into
can name
that.
names.
The Heat fall to the Sixers 104-105, and it was, I think, the most unfun game I've ever watched. It was only fun in the second quarter, and it was never fun before or after that. It was miserable. It was ugly basketball, and we're going to talk about it.
I had a great time.
You had a great time.
I've seen the Heat offense look worse. This
Yeah,
was
right?
yeah.
That wasn't the
Yeah,
worst we've ever seen it.
It just was against the Sixers. Every time Embiid hit a stupid three, he looked so happy, and I just got
Well, he should.
profoundly
He couldn't do-
upset.
He couldn't do much else.
He's a fucking loser, bro. I
So-
just don't like that guy.
I mean,
He's a loser. I can't
so
wait.
are we.
I cannot believe I'm gonna be. I cannot believe I'm gonna be rooting for the Knicks come Saturday. I can't believe it.
There's no way. There's no way you're rooting for any team.
Somebody has to win, and it has to be them, guys. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I thought the game plan and Tiff, we can start with you and kind of go around the room. I thought the game plan was solid. We're going to swarm and beat. It is what we talked about yesterday. We're going to make every pass difficult. They're going to play zone. They're going to muck it up. They're going to play every passing lane possible. They're going to crash whenever anybody gets within 10 feet of the rim. And they did. And they forced a ton of turnovers. And they looked like they were in a firm driver's seat position. And in the second half, the Sixers attacked the zone off the drive. They moved Embiid to the top of the zone where Haywood Highsmith was, and that made Embiid's passing so much easier because Bam's help, who's at the bottom of the zone, is not really there. Those are smaller guys. And Batum, and that just all flipped the game. Going over screens flipped the game. That flipped the game. And I don't really think Miami had a ton of answers.
But what do you? I didn't understand. What were you helping for?
On Embiid, because it was working. You were forcing him to turn the ball over, and he was not beating a crowd. You were just.
But here's the thing: we have to stop pretending that our guards can keep up that high energy play all game. They started out with a high level of energy. By the time you got to the third, Tyler was not getting out of his break to get back to the open man. And he was leaving Nick Batum open on every single shot. Like, it wasn't working. Let them play straight up. At some point, you have to try because it wasn't working. And Nick didn't
they at the beginning of the game, and then he draw like 3 fouls on Bam? It felt like really early.
Yeah,
so
but we also could be honest. Bam wasn't disciplined either. He fell for every pump fake. There can always be but this happened. No,
Right.
like they gave it away. Like we're not gonna pussyfoot around it.
Yeah.
They gave it away. They didn't get back out of the breaks. They were doing soft ass doubles. If you're gonna do it. Stop being soft about it. Like you're half-heartedly now being cute about it, and it got their ass in trouble.
Mhm.
Like are we gonna pretend that like we really want to sit and watch 3 minutes of it's Caleb time? No, that should have never happened. Sorry, G. I just had to because I'm sick about it.
You sick of Caleb?
I'm sick of it. Sick of that high dribbling bullshit.
Not getting paid, guys.
It was Caleb, and I liked Caleb's activity in the first half. In the second half, it
fell off.
It just
felt like too much.
It was out of control.
Yes.
It palpably felt like too much.
It was out of control.
He's a Tasmanian devil out there.
No, for real.
But even the Tasmanian devil had a purpose.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He loses his purpose. He just eventually there stops becoming things to hit, and it's just shit. Where am I going?
I love how like we're having a conversation of Caleb. Chat's mad that Herro can't beat people off the dribble. Other people are mad that Duncan didn't play.
Welcome. Heat
I
fan.
want the Bulls.
It's been 5 years since he's been on the team. Not
and everybody's going in different directions.
Like, what are we doing here? Why are we mad at players?
Yeah, somebody said Josh would have been better. Like everybody's just listen. All these things are true.
Yeah,
man.
It's nothing.
I don't think Josh would have been better than DeLon. I'm gonna be real.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely right.
No. But he would have been better than Tyler getting to his spots.
Tyler was great in the fourth quarter. I don't want to do this with Tyler today.
He was great in.
No,
you can. He was great in the fourth quarter, but that's not how you play a game. We're not doing that.
I think he played well. He just missed a lot of looks, which I think at some point he has to hit the looks.
But he didn't play well until the end.
It's not just shooting.
I don't
more than right.
One at a time.
I get where G's coming from here. I don't think he was missing looks early on, but then once those looks kept missing, he was trying to force something to happen. And in the fourth, things started happening.
That was kind of Spo's fault, though. They left him
on an island. Took 14 threes.
Yeah,
they put him in lineups where like he was the only guy who
he had
dribble.
to be the guy.
Yeah.
I
was like, what do you expect? And then what the Sixers did was, okay, we're just going over screens, and that fucking frazzled Miami.
I have a serious.
Go ahead, Lou.
I'm sorry. I got a serious question. Is Spo ever gonna fucking challenge? Can we get an assistant coach that's just on video? He could be on his phone, man. I don't need him watching the game. Just be like, hey, Spo, that's the one. That's somebody. We got 6 assistant coaches sitting I don't know what they're watching because we didn't run a fucking adjust. They would have adjusted and gotten out of the goddamn zone earlier if somebody would have went in Spo and told him, why are we playing zone when Embiid's not in the game? Are we scared of Paul Reed? Like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Anyway,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Zone was sensational in the first half. Punched them in the fucking face. They had an answer, and
Y'all
you know what we
know
did?
we didn't
We
lose
kept
it on
giving them the same
defensive
test.
end. We didn't lose it on the defensive end.
Are people accusing Jimmy of a
We
fake
can't
in?
score.
Tiff, but like you said, we've been known that. We have been known we can't score. The problem was in the second half, we gave up 39 points in the first half, gave up damn near 70 in the second half. The defense lost us the fucking game. I don't care if they score 105. At some point, we are who we are. We are not an offensive team. You pride yourself on defense. Why are we going to zone consistently and it overstayed its welcome? It by far overstayed its welcome.
Technically, do we really believe we've been a top 10 defense all year? Because I even think that was kind of muddy. If you really want to be honest.
We're a top 10 with the personnel that we played today. We're a top 10 fucking defense. There's no question.
Are we?
We had DeLon, we had Highsmith, we had Bam out there, and you know what we're doing? We're running fucking zone with Paul Reed in the game. Like, why are we running zone? We should be running zone when Bam is not in the game, Embiid is on the floor, and Kevin Love is at the 5. By all means, please run as much zone as you need to.
But
when Bam is in the game,
look who else is in there. But look who else is in the game.
Who?
Tyler,
we've been on that. Stick his ass on somebody sorry.
There was no one sorry.
They just bring him
it
to
was,
the action.
They thought it was Nick
Harris is a little
Batum.
sorry. Tobias Harris is a little sorry.
They thought it was Nick Batum, and look what happened.
I kind of
got killed in zone in the second.
That offensive
know,
rebound
Bon,
by Batum.
I want
You saw that?
I want Bond's thoughts on this because I thought the zone came from a position of strength in the first half, and then in the second half, like I said, I think the adjustment that was made was they put Embiid at the top of they drove more, and they were kind of forcing Miami to guard him 1-on-1. And the second thing was they put Embiid at the top of the zone where Highsmith was. So when they did double, that double, as Tiff was saying, is Tyler, and then has to come out to Batum. Embiid can make that pass over Tyler. And one of the things we talked about yesterday was Miami wants to make those passes to Embiid cross court and through traffic. And that was not the case because at the top, it's just one pass away, kind of like what the Celtics did when they were doubling Tatum. They kind of put Horford as that release pass, and Batum became that release pass over Tyler. Bam's in the restricted area protecting the basket. They're not running plays to the basket. And that really, Bond, are the things that I thought crumbled Miami's zone, and they probably should have pivoted. What are your thoughts?
And someone asked me this earlier today on the timeline, like, what are the different iterations of zone that they play? And they're like their best lineup, the one where they're most active, whether it's DeLon, Haywood, Caleb, all of the prior iterations of that player, DJJ, like that's they're like it's an odd kind of 1-1-3. That's what I call it. It's like a 1-1-3, and then that allows them to play the top two the way that they kind of like to. And you're right, G. Not only did they move Joel in the first half, when we were in the zone, they emptied Jaime's corner. So now Jaime was able to kind of just sit back and like also help direct, but like be in an area to move to help himself to communicate with his teammates. And then along with moving Joel, they kept someone in the corner. So now the top two can't rotate the way that they want to. They eventually came out of it. They eventually went into like a zone, a 1-2-2 where they're able to kind of protect the shell a bit more. But now you have someone in the slot, you have someone, on the high wing, you have someone in the corner, and you have Joel. So that the opportunities for like the misbalancement, kind of our defense, Philly did a good job manipulating it, and Miami was responding. Whereas early, like you said, it was from a position of strength. They were kind of dictating with, what they wanted to do. And then Philly made 2-3 adjustments kind of all at once. And it coalesced really nicely for them.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm 100% in agreement. I think we're totally aligned with that. So that was kind of that. On offense, that was an adventure. And Franky, you said it at the top of the show. They've looked worse. As Chad says, I looked at the red ball outside the target. God damn. Fuck. Jesus. That's nicer than some of the other stuff you guys have said to me. Franky, their offense, I thought they got a lot of good looks, and I think that the other adjustment that Philly made on defense was they started going over Jimmy Butler screens, and that completely unraveled anything he did because Embiid would kind of pinch in at the nail, and Jimmy could not get an angle, and Batum was able to recover, who, by the way, I mean, game ball to him, he was fucking fantastic. But and obviously Jimmy was injured, so he did not have the same zip that he had. So all that combined just kind of neutered that, and it just became, okay, well, an uncomfortable amount of Tyler Herro. Here we go.
It felt a lot like their fourth quarter offense does. That they're getting good looks by definition. Like those are technically open shots, but the ball hasn't moved. There's no energy. The guys haven't touched the ball in like 6 minutes, and then it's only Tyler. It's all on Tyler. I don't blame Tyler for him and Bam both had a lot of juice on their legs early on. They were missing far shooting, hitting back iron. Both shots. Bam shot early the first 2 threes. And Tyler missing long on his first shots early. And then Tyler had to do a lot of self-creation. And we've seen he's at his best when he's sharing the load and sharing the shot attempts and not having to beat the pressure by himself. They couldn't take advantage of that. But that's something that they never solved this season. Anytime they get two on the ball, they can swing. They don't make it pay. Their spacing is so bad that one guy can guard 2 and they recover well enough. That's what and Kyle was ready for it. And Nick Nurse was ready for it too. Sometimes a nurse is better than a doctor.
Oh, so funny when Doc Rivers just leaves town, you get better. I'm so mad that we can't play Milwaukee with Doc without Giannis. This is not. Indiana doesn't deserve that. Indiana doesn't deserve that.
We don't either.
Yeah, well, it'd be nice. Yeah, it'd be nice. I had no fun today. Today was miserable. This
was like a basketball junkie like enjoyment. The coaching adjustments, but the fucking offense. Oh my god, the offense, the transition.
I would have enjoyed it as a neutral party. I just have so much hatred for the Sixers and particularly Embiid. And I just realized that maybe I'm a bad person. I just don't like when he's happy. And I watched him be happy because he hit a shot. And I was like, that upsets me. And maybe I should work that out in therapy. I'll bring it up to my therapist. However, I don't know. I just don't like that guy. And I don't like that crowd. And that city fucking stinks. There's nothing to do. Everything closes early. I don't like it. I'm a hater.
Enough.
I don't like Philly.
Hate.
Boring ass city.
Enough. It's literally not.
But is it always sunny over there?
I live in Miami. Everything's boring. There's like 4 cities in this country that aren't boring. But yeah, so I'm a hater. Jimmy's injury, and it's crazy that we've kind of waited so long for this. That looks bad, and I would hope that he doesn't play in Friday's second game. It reminded me, Brian, a lot of the game 1 against the Knicks. Yeah. Where he was hurt, he played, he stood in a corner almost the entirety of the fourth quarter, and he basically screened and decoyed and, hit, that's pretty much all he did. And it looked pretty after the halftime, it looked like his knee probably like buckled or flared up, or I don't know. I'm not a doctor or anything, but I'm sure that it just, the time of not moving was not good.
Yeah, it seemed like he made it way worse just by jumping for that steal. Fast break steal with that dunk in the fourth quarter, which was his only fourth quarter attempt the entire game. Yeah, not looking good. Look, I don't know what's going to happen. It's probably going to swell up. Hopefully he gets the treatment he needs, but like there's only one day of rest between now and Friday's second playing game. So in all honesty, they're probably going to have to assume that he's going to be out or at least play like limited minutes. Like I don't see him playing heavy minutes like he would have today. So next man up, and they should have enough to beat either the Bulls.
Oh God, no! Please, no.
Or the Hawks. But then again, like this team could give up, and like they didn't play well the last time they were in this situation until the last 3-4 minutes of that game. They relied on guys like Max Strus to even just keep them afloat up until Jimmy and Bam were able to make that last 4-minute push to win that game. And obviously what happens through that door. After it. But like, yeah, I just it's not looking good. And I don't even know if I want to win this game because like in all honesty, if Jimmy's really that hurt, we have no shot against the Celtics.
It's just not worth to put him.
And
through.
I don't want to give the Celtics that like feeling of like gratitude, like beating.
You want
us.
the excuse?
Yeah, I mean,
I actually do. I'm with Brian here. I just want Jimmy to, if he's not going to look right, I just want him to sit. I just rather no, you don't play.
I'd rather him sit, but I don't want them to lose. Fuck that. I want him to pull that shit out of their ass.
now if he's okay, like it's just
Franky.
it's a strain or something, maybe misses one game, but he can get right because the next game won't be till Sunday. If he misses now and doesn't play game 1 until Sunday, so he misses the second playing game. That gives him what Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like 3 days of rest. Maybe it might be enough for him to make an attempt to play game 1. And I think there's 2 days off between game 2 and game 3. So like in a way that might be good. Like who knows? We'll see.
So you think this team, sans Jimmy, can beat either
They
Chicago
should, not saying they will.
or Atlanta?
Mentally, I have no clue where the fuck they're at because they probably thought they should have won this
should.
game.
They should
They
have won.
should beat them, but
They should have won.
you never know.
They should have beaten a lot of teams this year.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is. I mean, I'm with
But we're in
Franky
this
though.
mess.
They should play to win. Like
No, they're gonna
Yeah.
play to win.
I'm saying, like
but
you don't throw in the towel. Even if let's say Jimmy's not even gonna be able to play the rest of the way, you got to get a look at the at these young guys with some kind of
Yeah.
elevated. Like you have, we're not gonna do a fucking off-season show today, but you're gonna have decisions to make. So you know what's the best way to make those decisions after they literally legitimately have to be forced into uncomfortable situations in the first round. So
I'm sorry, y'all. Weird Al.
no, yeah,
I would have rather it
I
be
miss you,
against the
Jack.
Knicks though than Celtics. Like,
Yeah,
in all
absolutely.
honesty. So
Oh man.
There's no Wemby on the other side. There's no reason to lose this game.
this is
yeah,
I gotta be honest.
and they're locked into their pick anyway. So
I don't care anymore.
But I don't want to get swept. Either, so like,
I don't even give a shit. And I benefit from them. I benefit from the 4 extra games of sponsorships and shows and everything.
True.
I just don't care. And in a way, I don't want to watch it. I just don't want to watch them get crushed by Boston. I just don't. I don't like Boston either. And I don't want to give I don't want those people happy at my expense. I don't. I'd rather just give it to Chicago or Atlanta and let me have a vacation starting now. And I could disconnect from basketball and pretend it doesn't exist. And then just let soccer ruin my life.
Rohan said it before the game. I'm going to call Rohan out. He said the Heat are the Dolphins now. They lost every game they were supposed to win to prove something, and it was all mostly by shooting themselves in the foot. And he put that energy out before the game, so I'm blaming
He
Rohan.
did. I did see that.
That is Rohan. Chat is
Textbook Celtics hater.
please get Brass on.
Brass is not coming.
Do you
Brass
think
is not-
Brass
Max
is gonna
Strus walking
come
through
on?
that door.
Do you
Brass
know
Jazz
that?
walking through that
I've been
door.
watching Brass
It's
I
on
can-
his
I
airwaves
can
for years. And
let me tell
think-
you. I can confirm. Here's the text.
I'm weak.
Uh-oh. Blue bubbles.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I'm out. Not bringing hot back for this shit.
I got the same
I
text. I was
understand.
like,
sources.
I just get a
Very
text
sources.
Tiffany Meeks.
officially out.
He's out. He not
Brought to you by FanDuel.
Brass is not walking through that door, ladies and gentlemen.
I
It's
saw
it's
Al-
Use
over.
code MHB when you sign up.
Did
Come
you
on,
guys
G.
see
We're
that, Al?
cooking here.
Did you guys see that Alf tweet where he's like, if Spo puts Caleb in, check if he has a DraftKings account?
That was great. John T. Spolstra.
Man.
Oh man.
Man, guys, I don't know. It's just, it was really, they could have won that game, and I thought they did enough to win, and they just could not help themselves by throwing up all over themselves, as they do. You know,
It's disappointing.
Tiff, have you ever seen those TikToks of that child who's like walking with like, I don't know, like a cup of water, and the mom's like, two hands, and
That's
the kid
me, Bam to catch a rebound.
the kid doesn't like know what to do with the other
Yeah.
hand, and then eventually he just drops the cup, and then the water's everywhere. That's really Miami.
Yeah.
Heat and Dolphins and Marlins.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fuck.
The Marlins don't have a cup.
we're
to
gonna
get
get
the water.
destroyed by
They
Chicago.
might not even have the water.
Holy shit!
I
Chicago's-
got another text from Brass.
Oh,
Should
what
I
did he
read?
say?
Should I
What?
read it?
Source
Yes,
Tiffany
yes,
Meeks.
please.
Fuck Kyle Lowry. Fuck me. Fuck me.
That sounds like
the
him.
text.
That'd make me happy if he came on the show, just said that, and walked out.
I would. We would have that as a sound. Just play it.
Just-
Brass is not
Just bring
Brass
me
is
in.
not content pilled enough for that. Brass has a lot of feelings, and Brass, wants to protect himself. He's not content pilled enough for that. Although that would be very funny. They have a lot of questions to answer, kind of going into Friday. I think that if you're Miami, I don't even want to talk about who they'd rather play because who really cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Would they rather play Nikola Jovic 35 minutes?
Yeah, I mean,
More than what he did. Good God.
I agree with Bond. I also think that he is lacking defensively, and I texted Tiff at some point in the game, and I go, I don't know about Jovic on defense because it looked a little shaky. How did you feel like he looked in his postseason debut, Bond?
I mean, so if his defense was shaky, Tyler's offense was shaky. Tyler's just there to name. And I don't know. Nikola touched the ball and good things happened. The very first two Tyler drives, and I that's a bit, exaggerative or whatever, but Tyler tried to drive first two possessions, kind of got jammed up. Moved it to the left. I think it was a Nikola, someone else pick and roll. Nikola gets around the corner, drops the shoulder, gets a bucket. And you can see him kind of, I don't know, just settling in. Had the pick and pop three. I think he had a three that aired something else that he kind of just stepped into. Rebounds. There were offensive rebounds that we gave up at the end of the game that I think that he helps you with greatly. And, I don't know. I can hear some of the I guess the woes or the I don't know, the shortcomings, I guess, defensively, or where he might have got exposed at a little bit here today. But I don't know. I feel like there was still space for him to give you something and help give your offense a different dynamic. And you make some moves as Philadelphia is making moves and tweaking their offense and things. I think we just get too predictable. Sometimes we get too stagnant, and just his dynamicism in himself, kind of helps change the pace of things a little bit, or at least just kind of change the feel. Whether it's a pass, it's a hockey assist, it's collapsing a defense a bit. He has things that I think help give things a different look. But I understand being cautionary, I guess, defensively.
I think he was just targeted. They targeted him.
Yeah. In
it was
4 back-to-back possessions,
and they got really good stuff every time. Yeah. And that's when Spo had the hook. And one of the things that you didn't mention is he shoots the ball real fast. And
yes, he has a great release.
And it's quick, and they need that. Speaking of quick releases, no Duncan Robinson today was available. I think if he didn't play, given how they looked, that should tell you that was a break glass in case of emergency, and it looked like an emergency
for him to be to be his first game back. That was too physical game for him.
Yeah, the refs really let him play, which I kind of like. By the way, I like the physicality. I don't want to do it. So.
I mean, there were some missed calls, but we won't talk about that.
So, and then Miami got away with a bunch too. I thought it was a fairly officiated game. So it went both ways on that. But yeah, guys. So Heat lose. They're going to have to go probably against, it's looking like Chicago, which is unfortunate because Miami probably crushes Chicago. Although it took,
Atlanta?
It took, Chicago's up right now, aren't they?
No.
It was looking like
said they would crush. Unfortunately, they would crush Chicago. Like that was a bad thing.
I think Miami would probably crush Chicago. I don't really want to.
So you're saying, unfortunately, they would win?
I don't want to watch them play against Boston. I actively want them to sit Jimmy, and I want them to lose. I'm saying this on air, on the record. Okay. I don't want to watch them play against Boston. I don't want to watch them get swept. I just don't want. I don't want that in my life. I don't want the pizza guy with Barstool to be happy. And I don't want him in my city. Going to Miami Slice. I don't even know his name.
Fuck Dave Portnoy.
I don't know. He said something. I hate that guy, bro. Is that his name?
Yeah, one bite. Yeah. Everybody knows the rules.
Oh God, they're gonna do that shit on us if we play them, right?
I don't want it.
They're gonna do all
on Jimmy on the bench because he's hurt. Like what's?
And you know what the worst part is, guys? My season's gonna end with DeMar DeRozan doing it.
I mean, you're hoping
first Kyle Lowry, then DeMar.
It's gonna be Kyle and DeMar ending my season, just ruining my fucking life.
It all comes back to G's fault.
It's all my fault.
And then Bat Stevens next.
It's all my fault.
It's because you didn't Sage.
I didn't. Well, there wasn't a home game today, so
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You should have saged anyways.
Everybody on Twitter was like, "Gee, are you staging?" And I was like, "For what? They're not going home." And I'm not staging tomorrow. I
They're
might go to
going
the
home.
energy lady and ask her what's the opposite of sage.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What
Relax.
is the opposite of sage?
I
G
wanna,
not
what's
saging. Got
happening?
Jimmy's knee fucked up.
I don't know.
What's
Doors.
happening?
Well,
That-
so
I'm-
Jimmy's
I'm-
knee been
I'm-
fucked up.
I'm lost at sea, guys. I'm lost at sea.
I mean, can we just kind of something noticeable that maybe they'll fix for next season? Maybe get a point guard, like a real
Yeah.
one.
They have
Or
it.
two?
Yes, please.
Like, cause that was
Or two,
we
really.
could talk about a lot of the missed
Lanico.
shots and a lot of those things, but
Yeah.
not having somebody who could actually facilitate an offense and dribble.
Yeah.
That's a
Some
big
dude can handle
thing.
pressure, man.
Tiff, you know who their point guard was the second half of this? I mean, honestly, majority of the season, Duncan Robinson. That I should.
Yeah.
That's not the
I'll say
answer, though.
enough.
That's not the
No,
answer.
no,
That's
I'm
not
not-
the answer.
That's
I'm not
Right,
saying
right.
it was.
No,
but
no,
I'm
I get what you're
saying-
saying.
That's the
Lou.
answer to why they have the 21st offense.
Right. But what I'm
There you
saying
go.
is I get it. We like to be non-traditional and do all the things, but sometimes it's okay to do it how it's been done.
You don't always have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
You can
Like
just build a better wheel.
No.
Get
Somebody
better
saying
pieces
y'all
for the
don't
wheel.
Get
like
better pieces.
Hold on. Somebody saying y'all don't like herky jerky Rozier. He's not a traditional point guard. You
Yeah,
needed
but
somebody tonight who could not be herky jerky, who could
Yeah.
slow down
I'd love Terry like as your sixth man.
because they all were fumbling around with the ball. You needed
Yeah.
somebody to be
You already have a
composed with the
six-man.
ball.
It's very
So-
chaotic energy.
Right. Yeah. you don't
Typically,
need
that's
the-
Jimmy,
the
but
chaotic-
obviously
Yeah.
we saw.
right. That wasn't happening. But it shouldn't even be Jimmy at all.
It
Like
should.
at this stage of his career, that shouldn't be him. Like they need a real point guard. Like
Maybe
that is
like-
just
Maybe
Sounds
like
like-
that guy who's over there. I think he. Oh man, I forget the team. I think it might be Milwaukee.
we're not doing this.
What's
Chat
happening?
says
We're
bring
not
bugging
doing
out.
this.
we don't need to get older, guys.
Chat wants
Right,
to
like-
bring
I'm
Why
just
we keep-
Be old enough.
kidding.
Why you want us to be
I'm
real
just kidding.
old?
It's not him. It's the guy who just got eliminated for Golden State.
Did they dodge a bullet?
Oh, Steph? Yeah. I
Yeah.
said Steph.
Is Steph still
guy.
point guard?
He could be for us.
Did you see those tweets?
Boye, Jamari Boye is gonna save us, guys.
I wish.
They're gonna have a lot of questions, and we'll get into offseason stuff in the offseason. But it's just unfortunate that they again missing Rozier and missing Duncan Robinson on a night when they desperately needed offense. We'll talk a little bit about Hawkins and then get out of here. He didn't do the stuff that typically I think Heat fans were associating with their success, which was kind of a lot of the stuff in the half court on post ups and all that. He did a lot in transition. That not that they had a lot in transition, but when they did, it was him. It was a lot of kind of catching the ball off broken plays and driving it hard to the basket, getting to the line, kind of in those in between those little moments of chaos. I thought he really took the game by the horns and said, "Fuck it, we ball," and he went to the basket. That was one thing, Frankie, that I really liked from him today. And to be honest with you, like really the only guy that I think should be happy with this, him and DeLon are the only two that should be happy with their performance today.
It's what we've been calling for all season, that they need to attack earlier and oftener, because when they're in secondary transition, their spacing's a lot better because everybody's on their heels, so they have to recover more on the swings out or on the attacks. Everything's a little bit more spaced, and that makes all the difference for the Heat because they don't have the shooters and the natural spacers or the natural attackers to formulate an offense. You got to take advantage of those gaps, and Jaime was doing that aplenty. It didn't matter who was inside, which you can't say the same thing for everybody else. He was not afraid of Embiid. He challenged Embiid, attacked his body. Embiid couldn't jump tonight. He got all his rebounds just being bigger than everybody. 15 rebounds of being 7 feet, 285 pounds. That's all that was. He couldn't jump. He was going like this. He was like a kid, like a dad grabbing rebounds over his kid, like not wrecking those knees, not making extra efforts. And Jaime was the only one who went downhill on him and hit him in the chest, got calls, was ready for the contact and get it on balance for an extra pass, extra shot attempt, whatever he needed to be. And that's what they need to. That's what they like. But when Bob was talking about Nico, they really missed his early juice. Problem is, he can be a little bit chaotic too in that sense, where he can give you 2 quick buckets and then he can give you 2 quick turnovers. So that's where he needs to improve a little bit on that end. To talk about the other young guy.
Lou, did you want to jump in? I saw you.
No, I agree. It was just too small. Nico had some moments. I mean, at the beginning of the game, they could not get anything going, and he drove right at Embiid, finished with his left hand, a tough finish. Early in the third, again, offense couldn't get going. He hit a deep 3. I get the defensive concerns, but if you're going to resort to playing that much zone anyways, maybe a guy who's 6'10", 6'11" will help in terms of closing out on these corners and helping grab rebounds. And it's unfortunate because I think the guys who played over him did have probably the most productive guys. The Highsmiths, the Jaquez.
Not Caleb.
No, not Caleb.
And I don't even mean there was space.
Yeah. No.
We know there was space.
A lot of it too. Yeah, it's just it's truly unfortunate that the game went the way it went. I saw people on the timeline saying like Bam wasn't aggressive enough. This was not a Bam game. Like this isn't a game for Bam to take over offensively. I thought he played well offensively when he actually got the ball. It's just everybody's.
I think 10 points is
He only played 31 minutes, so that's pretty disappointing.
That was a foul trouble.
I know, but it's still pretty disappointing.
Nah, he only picked up 3 fouls. He didn't get in game.
What was his stat line? Because I remember what I said.
5 for 9,
10,
10,
12.
He finished with 10 points,
12 and 2
rebounds.
blocks.
It's the one assist that I don't like, and I think that when
no free throws.
When their offense went sideways,
That also.
I didn't know why they didn't post him at the elbow and said, "All right, guys, we're gonna cut and we're gonna play off of him." That probably is. I don't really think they didn't.
They tried. Batum was shutting down those actions. They were trying to get cross screen matches.
Batum, it doesn't have to be Batum's man.
Okay, but they were trying to get cross screen matches. Maxey was shutting down those actions too. Oubre,
Maxey was working.
They were working off the ball.
Oubre was great for
the Heat just don't have somebody. They knew who the ball was going to. And the other 2 guys, like when Bam would be posted at the top, it was a clear 2-man action on the right side of the floor. The 2 guys on the left side of the floor were just not involved whatsoever. Yeah. So the entire Sixers defense is tilted, and they did a heck of a job getting around screens and staying to their man. Give them credit, but they tried to put Bam up at the top and play make. It's just it wasn't his game, and it's unfortunate because he probably should expand his offensive game, but. It's just, I don't think he was forcing anything, which is a good sign. I think there's a lot of people who were forcing things and, maybe some of them fucking had to because of who was on the floor. It's just a personnel thing at this point, especially offensively. It's been all season.
I would have liked more. I understand what you're saying. I don't totally disagree, but I just think that when your season's going sideways and your second best player needs to and I thought he was really good on defense today. And I thought the Sixers schemed to get away from him because he was such a problem on defense. The Sixers were like, how can we get away from Bam? How can we get Bam as far as possible from everything that we're doing? And that's one of the problems with Zone is that he's kind of stuck in his role. But
he got him their offensive rebounds as well. He was doing his.
And he was not. I mean, I thought a couple of those tips he could have finished and just.
Yeah. It wasn't a perfect game, but by no means did he have a bad game. 31 minutes is unfortunate.
I thought it was an inactive game on offense. I think he should have been a little.
I agree with that. Inactive is probably the perfect.
It was a very complacent offense.
That's a great way to describe it, Franky.
Because he went back to his 2020 days on offense, and that's it's one thing where we've talked about the 3-point shooting a lot over the years, but he missed the first 2, missed them far. And he just had no confidence to get back to it. Joel got the sink back, and Tyler's not as good as a DHOs as Duncan is. One of the reasons Tyler goes very wide, and it's easier for the guys to recover. So there's no advantage taken, and he doesn't like shooting the contested shots anyways. So the contested threes, my bad, because he does like the contested twos. But the contested threes really fuck with him for some reason. And Duncan is one guy who will take the 1 for 8 shooting nights and doesn't have to be wide open. So that's something that they were able to scheme out of him. And it's frustrating because I love Bam. I support him to the end. I don't want to trade him or anything, but he can't get washed out so easily every single time. Every single time he's got to be able to add something to his game. I don't think he's this 25 and 10 potential guy, but he's not. He shouldn't be a 10-point guy in the playoffs either. 5 for 7 from 2, which is solid efficiency, but the attempts need to go up. I'll take more turnovers. I'll take more attempts. I'll take going down fighting. It didn't feel like enough effort and assertiveness that we need from him, and we're still. It's year 7. We're still talking about this.
He got an offensive rebound one time at the far end in a possession where it felt like we had 2 or 3 attempts at it, and he just came up and got it one time. I'm like, damn, hey, what's up, man? But like, not trying to be a dig but like, oh, damn, like it was a noticeable.
Was that the one
change.
He dunked it?
I don't know. I don't think so. But it was a felt, like I felt him, and he was, very much so not greatly felt offensively.
So Eric Spoelstra had the most annoying quote ever in his press conference. He says, "We'll do this the hard way. That's the path."
Jimmy said this like 2 days. I'm so sick, man.
I'm so sick of it.
It's coach speak. Like I don't even care.
I just don't want to hear it, bro.
Yeah.
I know, but like, what do you want him to say? This is he culture. This
you.
is what you pride yourself on. The coach speak. The annoying cliches. That's he culture at its finest. There's no, we're gonna quit. We're ready for it. We're packing our bags. It's not. We're not them. That's not us.
Yeah.
Chat's asking, where can I watch the press conference? It's called Reading off Ira Winderman's Twitter account.
Yeah, Jimmy said he's getting an MRI on Thursday.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to say. So
Yeah.
Spo said, as the second half went on, it started to limit him a little more, which was kind of my concern.
The adrenaline wore off.
Ira then goes to report that Jimmy Butler's right knee was placed on a protective sleeve before he dressed. I presume dressed for post game. And he said that Jimmy has an MRI on Thursday. Quote, Jimmy said, "It had me feeling like I couldn't do too much." That was obvious to all of us.
Then you lose.
So that is really the update on Butler. The Bulls are up 11 on the Hawks. So going midway through the second quarter. So I guess be on the lookout for that to see who Miami plays. And yeah, guys, just in reality, like jokes aside, as Brass said, stupidly locked out of the playoffs. It's a really demoralizing loss for a team that really all season long you're promised that these poor performances are going to be made up for when they count. That your guys are just biding their time and saving their health and saving their energy for the games that matter. And I know that we're laughing at it, but they've done it a couple times already in 2020, in last year. So while we are frustrated all year covering 82 of it, they kind of sell you at the end like, hey, this is going to get better. And I think we all knew the truth. And it's really deflating when reality is reality and you're kind of met with what you thought was going to happen. Like, that last year was truly this fun, fantastical miracle run that is a 1 in a million chance. And betting on that is a little silly. But as people and as sports fans, we kind of hope and believe, right? We want to believe in that 1 in a million chance happening again, because that's why we do it, because we saw magic. So it's just really frustrating that they kind of come out in a very winnable game against a rival, and they really just self-inflict wound after wound after wound. And they lost to a guy who's like 40 years old in Nick Batum. And Nick Batum outscored Jimmy Butler. And I know Jimmy was hurt. He outscored Bam too. Tyler only had one more point than him. And it's just that stuff is really frustrating. So I'll leave you guys with that. Hopefully, like I said, I don't want more of this. Hopefully Chicago puts them out of their misery. But if not, we will be there all the way to where the wheels fall off here at Miami Heat Beat. So thank you guys for joining us on a sad night. You guys really showed out. We love you guys. We love our audience. We love all the support you guys give us. And we'll see you
6 to 8 weeks from now.
I guess tomorrow for a
draft beat
preview of the second play-in game. So I'll see y'all then.
57-45 run when Caleb missed the fucking free throws for those chicken.